Hey guys, Sai here. We're going to be doing a wonderful little interview today with Tygarlily, who is one of the Respawn partners. I'm very excited to do this. This is somebody I have a lot of respect for, and I cannot wait for you guys to get to meet her. Over to the show. Out of a mysterious circumstance, I've managed to get Tygarlily in with me to have a little interview whilst they pick out their favorite Pokemon. And yeah, so Tygarlily, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Tygarlily. I am a content creator. I used to be a self-made content creator, but now I work for a company called Ant Online. I'm their community manager and influencer. So basically, I make content, I pump out content, but I didn't want to do it by myself. I invited some friends to join me. So that's where I wouldn't say like I'm a big community manager. I have a few friends and we make content together. Isn't it funny how a lot of my favorite Pokemon are just like first evolutions? But yeah,
But they're the
so
cutest.
when it comes they're just so cute. A lot of my love from Pokemon actually comes from the animation and the TV show. I got into cards a little bit later, but it all started off with Game Boy Color. So I had a purple Game Boy Color, and my brother would not let me play red or blue, so he got me yellow. That's why it's my favorite Pokemon game ever.
Hold on, so Yellow was your first Pokemon game?
First Pokemon game. That's where my Pokemon love comes from. And my favorite Pokemon over everything is Ninetales because it was my first foil card.
Ooh.
Yeah, it started off with the TV show and then the game and then the Pokemon cards.
Zapdos be good. That's actually really funny though, because Pokemon Yellow was my first game. The first game I ever actually owned personally. Wasn't the first one I played, but it was the first one I owned. But I also had a yellow Game Boy Color. That was how I started. It was very good.
But the animation is the reason why I fell in love with a lot of Pokemon. So, for example, Eevee, I love it. Ninetales was my first foil card. I loved the Squirtle Squad. They were so cute. I love the legendary birds very much. And Lapras is actually one of my favorite Pokemon because in the Game Boy games, it was just like the easiest way to get around. Once you got a Lapras, it was like you could just float around wherever you wanted to, and it made me feel like I was going to secret places. It was really awesome. But like Mankey, for example, beat up Ash Ketchum, and I thought that was so funny, so he means a lot to me.
I love that. It means a lot to me. Why? Beat up Ash Ketchum. Yep, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Cool. So what actually because obviously you mentioned that you do your content creation and such. So what actually got you into that? How did you start?
It's a fun story because content creation, it's like, do I do it? Do I not do it? So it usually starts off as a hobby. And I'm like, am I into this? And so the best way to describe is my first year of streaming. My very first year of streaming was just, I played a lot of World of Warcraft. And there was a year where WoW was like, make a Twitch account and get a mount. And so you know how Blizzard likes to do that. So I was like, okay, what's Twitch? Yep. And then I started watching some streams and I was like, hey, that looks kind of fun. I want to try it. So one day I turned it on while I was playing World of Warcraft, and it was a really fun experience. Some people came through and were like, oh, you're like, I just focused on the raid. I used to raid in World of Warcraft and I was really scared to annoy my guildies, and so like I would just be really quiet on stream. Like all you would see was just like me interacting with stream, or like the guild, and then like kind of talking to stream. Yeah. And then one day I got really bored and I was like, I wonder what Elder Scrolls is like online. So I started streaming Elder Scrolls. Instantly 90 viewers, and back in the day that was a lot. That felt like a lot, and people were like giving me stuff, and I was like, this is what it's like to be a streamer. So kind of like fueled me a little bit more. But this is just like a hobby. Like I would stream after work, and I streamed World of Warcraft. That was my first game I streamed, and I continued to do that. And then I was like, now I want to get a capture card. So the first game story mode game I played was Breath of the Wild, and that was a real fun experience. I didn't have many viewers, but like the viewers that come to hang out with me and watch was like a couch watching experience. Okay. It was really cool to be able to play a single player game and have someone be there with me. And so that's what sold me on it. I was like, I love streaming. It's so much fun. I started to like really, really get into it. Going back to World of Warcraft, people start finding out that I like to cosplay, and they're like, let's set a goal, let's do it. So we set a World of Warcraft Sylvanas Windrunner goal, and my chat hit it instantly. So like, they're not like, don't just make Sylvanas Windrunner, make her badass. So they spent so much money, and I was like, I owe it to them. So like, anytime I would get a donation, I would like be like, this has to be, like, I have to complete our goals together, our dreams. Like, we're gonna do it. So I built Sylvanas Windrunner on stream, and it brought so many cool people to the channel. It brought a lot of the big cosplayers that people know today as like Kamoy, Evil Ted, Talk Custom, and a few other people like Bjorn Leather Shop. And so they would come to stream and hang out with me, and I was like, what? These people who were super amazing, who would not even know my name if I walked past them in the street, they came to my stream and told me what I was doing was really cool. That's so empowering. And so like, I just kept going, and we finished Sylvanas Windrunner, and she was probably the best cosplay I've ever made. So, and that all happened within a 6-month time period. Wow. And since then, I repeat that process over and over. It's just such an amazing feeling knowing that there are people that support what you love and that you support what they love, and you guys can do it together.
Very good. I'm really I'd like to say that I'm really happy that you like World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is a massive favorite of mine. Recently I won a competition. I recently acquired.
You have the helm.
The helm of domination is so good, isn't it?
Well, I have the sword.
Yes.
This is the only sword I've ever purchased, just because I was like, I was at a convention. I'm like, I really want it. I really want Frostmourne, but I couldn't buy like the real metal sword, so I just got the sword. Jiggly. Ooh, a starter. Oh, so hard to pick. Pikachu.
Oh, really? Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for Pikachu. One, because of Ash Ketchum earning his love, and two, just, is a childhood love of mine.
Oh, do you know much about the Mega Evolutions?
I don't. I was like, well, I know about these closer to like later generations, but I haven't seen them in like Gen 1. What are they?
So it's basically like, so the way that this form kind of picks it out is it basically says this is Gen 1. These are all the Pokemon from Gen 1 that have these gimmicky forms. So yeah, obviously Gigantamax Charizard 100%. And then it asks you, I was just about to say, then it asks you to pick your favorite at the end. So that's a really cool line of choices, actually. I like how you've got Haunter on there twice, and I suppose technically Aerodactyl twice, even though one of it is just a pile of bones.
Yeah, I always thought he was a cool Pokemon to get, but like he was hard. He was a hard Pokemon to achieve.
Was at the time, especially as a kid when I had zero knowledge and the internet didn't exist.
All right, here we go. Number 2.
Go for it. Generation 2. So you get to look at the other really weird and wacky cool ones. And now we'll really start to test your knowledge as we move further through the generations.
It's funny, 'cause, like I was here for a while. I think it was after 4, I started to teeter off. I came back at 9 for a little bit. But yeah. We'll just have fun. I'll just pick the ones, and if I don't know what they are, I'll just pick the ones that look awesome.
So what is it that that drives your creativity, and what has driven you to become Tygarlily?
Yeah, so the struggle of finding out who you are, what's your brand, what does it mean to be a content creator? Like, there are just so many different lanes you can go down, and how do you find yourself? What's your superpower? I like to call them superpowers. My brand, no, my superpower. So I'm very creative, and I love games. So one of my favorite things is obsessing over a video game with others. For example, Monster Hunter, which is the armor that you see sitting behind me. Yep. That's the Magnamalo armor set. And you wouldn't know that unless you played Monster Hunter Rise. And so obviously, just like someone knowing what that is, instant best friends. Yeah. Instantly, we can hang. Aileen, so cute. Pichu. But yeah, no. So my creativity just arises from us like really vibing over a game, and then what that does is how, like, there's right now my personality has changed a little bit where I just go from the next game to the next game. It's kind of my career where I just can't sit down long enough to enjoy one game anymore. But when I first started streaming, we would just for 6 months straight, or we would just like play for a year, like a specific game, like Overwatch and stuff. So I love bringing our favorite games to life in the most fun, positive ways possible. So, like, an example of that is like we play New World, and I was a guild leader for a really long time, and I was like, guys, what weapon should I build? And they're like, build the greatsword, and I was like, okay, let's build a greatsword. And so that's where my creativity comes from, is just like trying to just emphasize our love for a specific game or genre. These ends are really hard to pick. I don't know. I remember him a little bit.
Spinnerack, cute green boy, has a dumb face on his back. It's cute.
Oh, Lugia.
Yes. Lugia is a good shout, and my moderator Lugia will lose their mind that you picked that. Top points for picking Espeon. Top points. I think. Yes, you picked the one. I knew you'd pick that one. I so knew it. So Scizor is the. Do you already know who Scizor is?
No, but I was like, he looks like Scyther, so. It's
because it evolves from Scyther.
Yeah. I was like, I really like Scyther, so. Okay.
Yeah, that's a very good one. Ooh.
I love the EV evolutions. It's just so hard not to pick them when I see them pop up.
Completely agree. They're all really good.
Well, now that I know he's Scyther's big brother, I'm gonna keep him.
You get to pick all of the fairies. Togepi, excellent choice.
Clean. I like them all.
Bayleaf is a very cute one. I do like that.
And then
this is kind of fun. Gimmicks are fun, and they make the Pokemon like super powerful. So obviously you can already see that there's a Scizor form there.
We're just keep going with the theme.
I know, right? Yeah.
Legendary. Oh. I like Lugia specifically because of the so the animation. There's a scene where Ash helps a Lugia and their child out.
Yeah.
And so it's like soft spot. Oh, this one's hard. Out of all of my choices, really like Umbreon, but I think I'm gonna do Lugia because it's just like been trending. Like we got Lugia. We could always do Scyther's big bro, but we're not going to.
How did you come about working and partnering with Respawn?
So I built my brand, I built like my community, and we all love what we did. And basically down the line, doing what I did, what I loved, I was able to meet someone really, really cool. And one day he messaged me and he said, hey, do you like Respawn chairs? Because like I had sat in a chair, took a picture, and was like, because my favorite esports team also sat in Respawn chairs. So like to me as a fan, I'm like, pictures and pictures. And so I got a message the next day saying, do you like Respawn? And this was during a Respawn recruits event that was going on. This was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I had no idea. I just love the chair because my favorite esports team sat in it. And I sat in it in cosplay and took pictures. And then I was like, yeah, I like Respawn product. Like, I like the chair. He's like, do you want to try one? And I was like, yeah. So they sent me a chair, which actually was the Respawn Spectre. It was an amazing chair. So I sat in it and I loved it. And they're like, want a partner? And I was like, yes. Because like I was like, I really like this chair. It was actually one of the best chairs I ever had, because for the longest time I had some like other brand. It was AK Racing, which was cool, but like it was just felt like a flashy chair to show off, being like, hey, do you know what it's like when you're a streamer, you get the streamer chair? That's what the AK Racing chair was like. But then I got the Respawn chair. One, my favorite esports team sat in it. Two, it actually felt good on my butt and my back. And so I was like really happy to partner. And I was like, let's go. And then I got partnered in the middle of a Respawn recruits event. I had no idea what was going on. And they're just like, who are you? Where did you come from? Because I wasn't a big streamer at all. What I was I was a huge fan, and I would go to these esports events in cosplay. So I cosplayed for and with Atlanta Reign and we would go
Okay.
to events, and I would just like welcome anybody that they go to Overwatch parties. So like almost like a host, I'd be like, hi, and I was dressed up as Anna. So everyone's like, oh, Anna, so happy, so friendly, and I was like, I love you. Let's watch Overwatch together. And I did that. Like I was in my happy place. And so basically doing what I loved and focusing on like my community and my people, like I ended up here. Like I didn't ask for Respawn, they asked for me. So they'll see stuff like that. They'll see
That's good.
you enjoying what you do with your community.
So were you like one of the first by any chance then?
No, there were so many before me. I was just, when they put up their community page and they started posting pictures, like I'm like, my face is right next to Atlanta Rain. They put my face right next to Atlanta Rain. Like I was dying on the inside. I was just so excited to be like right next to all my favorite esport players, like the Fran, Dogman. Like they were like Fran when she was an over Atlanta Rain's team. Like oh my, it was so exciting. It was so exciting.
That's awesome. That's like such a wholesome story. It's such a great story for it.
That's why we always say, you know, just like focus on you, do what's best, and then it'll come to you.
Yep, it's exactly why when I moved to the platform I'm on now, I literally have just completely rebranded myself because I thought about it for such a long time, and I thought, well, like, what do I love most about streaming? I'm just like, what games do I love most? Like, well, obviously, I like Pokemon. I like Pokemon a lot. Like a lot.
A little bit.
So it's one of those things where I thought, well, why can't I just breed the positivity that I have for this particular subject and literally ooze it into a community? So that's exactly what I did. And you know, that's worked out pretty well for me so far. I'm really enjoying it. We've got some amazing people and our community is blossoming. It is really doing well. And I could not be prouder of them too. I really couldn't. They drive me in such a crazy way. It's unbelievable.
What I understand from viewers is you have this person that you're excited to hang out with every night, and we'll be there when a new game releases, or we'll be there when a game updates, and you can share in your excitement with them. And they're like a conduit. They bring in other people like that. So then you end up with not just one other person excited about a game, you end up with 2 people excited about the game. And then 3, and then add 3 to that, then you have 6, and then so basically what happens is you end up with 10 amazing people that are just like, hey, there's a new update, or hey, I just found a secret out in the game, or hey, let's go do that. And then 5 more people see you guys having a good time and they want to join, and then you're like, come along, let's go. And then before you know it, there's 20 of you, and all 20 of you are just so excited to get together every night to start streaming and doing dailies together. It's so much fun.
Obviously, I'm a bit older now. I've got a young daughter, and I kind of do this so that she's got something to kind of look at when she's a little older, because she occasionally says, "Oh, is that Dad on YouTube?" And it's like, yes, and that's kind of crazy to hear from my like 3-year-old. Oh wow, double Shadow Lugia, I like it.
I'm like, Lugia! The theme today is Lugia.
the theme today is Lugia. Fair enough.
No, I had 2 nieces, and when I thought of my content, I would always think of them. I would be like, would my nieces be able to watch this? No. So I would avoid doing it. Even when I play Call of Duty, I'd be like, if my nieces were in chat, would they be able to watch this? And I'd be like, no. So I would start to create and cultivate my content around that, and it turned me into a family streamer. But like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like doing that, but it's actually way better because then you can actually bring in more viewers, more people can watch.
Yeah, that is exactly right. To be honest, it's something I've been asked once before, was whether or not I'm like classed as family friendly, I suppose. But my community and myself are quite potty mouthed. They do like the swearing. They do, which can be frustrating.
No. Swearing is okay. It's more or less like, are you safe? Are you positive?
Oh.
Like, you could use the F word in a positive light any day.
And I'm not gonna lie, every time I catch a shiny, I pretty much do. So there is that.
It's okay to drop the F word in that situation.
I think I'm going to probably ask you one more question, because it is the most important question I think I need to ask you. And
Okay.
that question is, what is it like being a partner for Respawn?
Oh man, my favorite way to describe this. Have you ever played Final Fantasy VII?
Absolutely. I literally have Sephiroth's sword behind me.
Did you see Advent Children?
I did. Amazing
Okay.
film.
All right, there's a very specific scene where Cloud is fighting Sephiroth, and everybody in his party lifts him up and throws him. Do you know that scene?
Yes. built on the foundations of his party members. Well, obviously
Yes.
friendship, but I call it party because that's exactly what it was in the game.
And that is exactly what it feels like being a Respawn partner, because you have a bunch of partners that recognize the hard work you put in. You have a platform on Twitch, on Twitter, that like will come by and cheer you on. They'll retweet you, they'll help amplify what you're already doing. So like, you're amazing already, but they're gonna like grab your hand and throw you closer to Sephiroth. So that's my favorite way to describe being a partner, because before I had no idea what I was getting into, but the partners are small. There's not a lot of us, and each one of us recognizes the hard work we put into our content, because they're doing the same thing. We like to call this the highway of content creation. You're in your own lane, you're doing what you're doing, and someone else will see your goals and ambitions and be like, oh my god, how can I help? How can I make that better? And so that's been my favorite thing about being a partner. And it's not my first partnership, but it is one of my first partnerships with a brand product.
Okay.
And so it's like interesting, like, how can Respawn products help you out? Respawn Products has the best community I have ever seen. They
Hands
help
down.
each other out. Yeah, hands down. I have never felt so welcome and so just like allowed to be myself as I have been with Respawn.
What that has done, what you've answered there has answered one of probably the biggest questions that I had, which was, is Respawn for me as a creator? I already knew what I was sort of getting into when I came into this, because I did my research, I looked at the background of it, I saw the community was excellent, and that I saw that what Respawn do is very much what I like to do in terms of helping communities and basically working with them. So hearing from a partner exactly what essentially I needed to hear has made it very obvious that for myself and every single other recruit that is applying this year is making the right choice. And by the way, this is my first recruit, obviously, being from the UK. I wasn't allowed to join, I think, previous ones, because I think this is the first year they've opened it up to European partners. Correct me if I'm completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. It was really, really cool to sort of jump into that, and this has pushed me to the limits. And with help from yourself, obviously digging me out of a really tough week that I had. And there's no sort of excuse on that week. It was just a poor week for me, and that was just one of those weeks. But coming back from that and absolutely smashing on every single angle of content has been uplifting. Absolutely uplifting. And I'm not going to let your absolute insane amount of positivity and welcomeness for our community go to waste. That is a promise. And
my biggest thing too is make sure to take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the one at the head of it all, right? So when I was in your chat and I was like, yes, you have the foundations and you have a community that is like very interested, very inspired by you, but you also have to make sure you're the light bulb, and your light bulb is burning really, really bright right now, like a candle. Not a light bulb, a candle. You're burning very, very bright right now, and that's okay, because you're trying really hard to get through this recruit thing, and that's what they want to see. But like, take care of yourself, because you don't want your wick to go out. You just want to be able to like hopefully produce content, produce events for your community, and then like make sure your streams are still on top while being a father. That's a lot of work, so make sure to take care of yourself.
Yep. The one good thing about that is, because of how great our community is, it is very regular for my community to tell me to go to sleep. So when they've seen that I've had a tough day, they will openly be like, yo, Sai, go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll be here tomorrow. And honestly, right, having that sort of support just makes the whole streaming aspect of my content creation 1,000,000,000% easier, because they've got my back, I've got their back, and together we're just gonna go at the moon.
I love that. And I have finished my
Yes.
line.
Huzzah! Awesome. So I already know your favorite Pokemon, but is there any on there that you are curious about?
Yeah, so out of them all, I mean, like, I pick a lot that I do know where I recognize a little bit.
Yeah.
But this fairy Pokemon, this one, this one's really cute. What is it? Did I
Okay,
pick a bad
so
Pokemon?
nope, you picked perfectly fine. You picked on point with what you've chosen. So if you go up 2 boxes, you will
Is that
see.
really? I didn't even know.
Yep.
I didn't know he evolved, and he was so cute.
So that is actually called Togekiss, which is the 3rd evolution. So you've got Togepi, Togetic, and that one, which is Togekiss.
That's so cute. Obviously, I love Togepi because of Misty and all, but like, I'm so happy. I learned something so cute today. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with our community and taking the time out of your ludicrously busy schedule to jump on board with this, especially at no more than a day's notice.
No, I'm so happy to be here. Like I said, I see what you have. You have a beautiful little bonsai tree, and if you water it, your bonsai tree is going to grow to be a big bonsai tree, and everyone's going to want to sit in your branches. So you guys are going to do great. Good luck to you. And like I said earlier, all you got to do is ask. Never be scared. You never know what's going to happen. Most of the time, everyone says yes.
It actually took another respawn recruit for me to take this leap to talk to you.
Oh no, who is it? Who is it?
I am going to name drop them because they deserve to go far. And they were also in the same boat as me, which is why I've got a lot of respect for them. And that is Kizime.
Oh my gosh, Kizime. Well, thank you. And,
Yep.
I have a lot of faith in Kizime too. Like, you guys are gonna do great. And no, I don't have a lot of leverage here. I can't say, oh, that's the person that should win. When it gets to the top 10, it gets really sweaty, it gets really hard. But what you gotta know is that you're building all these new friendships, and you're in the 110, and you have new friends, and you have new ambitions, and you didn't even know you had goals until you realized you had goals. So one of my favorite things about recruits is don't take away the losses, take away the wins. Definitely remember that when the next list comes through.
100%. Thank you so much, Tygarlily. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. I love your choices, by the way. This has been amazing.
Oh, they're so cute. I love Pokemon.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I will no doubt be back very soon with more interviews like this, potentially on other recruits and other Respawn members. So keep your eyes peeled. Stay amazing, stay positive, and as always, Sai out.